Eastern Kentucky football has been flirting with the idea of moving up to the FBS for over a decade at this point. With Louisiana Tech deciding to leave the Conference USA to join the Sun Belt, the Colonels may be the perfect team to replace them. Their rivals, Western Kentucky, are already in the FBS and play in the Conference USA. This is why Eastern Kentucky would be a perfect FBS move-up candidate from the FCS level. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you want the Conference USA to go after to replace Louisiana Tech in the comments section below. Eastern Kentucky football dates back to 1891, making it a program that is 134 years old this season. The program would struggle early on, not having a coach leave with a winning record until 1946, when, after 11 seasons, Rome Rankin left EKU with a 56-24-6 record. They would continue to play well under Tom Samuels before winning their first conference title under Glenn Presnell, who led them to the Ohio Valley Conference title in 1954 and 1962. 1954 would also be their first bowl game appearance, as they would lose to Omaha, RIP their football program, 7-6 in the Tangerine Bowl. In 1964, Roy Kidd was named head coach and would become a legendary figure for the Colonels. Kidd played quarterback at Eastern Kentucky before becoming a student assistant in 1954. He actually turned down a scholarship offer to play for Bear Bryant at Kentucky because he wanted to be a dual sport athlete loving baseball, and Eastern allowed him to do that. He set a dozen quarterback records at EKU and was named a Little All-American and All-Ohio Valley Conference. He was also the team's star center fielder, batting .300 over 4 seasons. The year he served as a student assistant would be the year they went to the Tangerine Bowl. He would coach high school football in Richmond, Kentucky until 1962, and when he would join Morehead State's football program as an assistant. In 1963, he joined the Colonels' coaching staff and then would serve as head coach for the next 38 years. He also served as athletic director for Eastern Kentucky from 1991 to 1995. Under Kidd, Eastern Kentucky would build to be one of the best programs in the nation. They won the Ohio Valley in 67 and 68, and earned their first bowl win in the Grantland Rice Bowl over Ball State in 67. They won another conference title in 1974, and again in 76. In 76, they also made the Division II playoffs, losing in the quarterfinals. 1979 would be a magical season, as they would win their first national title, beating Lehigh 30-7 in the Division I AA title game, finishing the year 11-2. That would start a streak of 6 straight years where they made the Division I AA playoffs. They would top 1979 and 1982 when they won their second national title, beating Delaware in the title game 17-14. Under Kidd, EKU would make it to the Division I AA playoffs 17 times, going 15-15. They also won 16 OVC conference titles, and Kidd was named Coach of the Year 10 times. He finished his coaching career with a 315, 124-8 record, becoming the most successful coach in school history. Under Kidd, EKU became known as an FCS powerhouse, bringing national acclaim to the university. All-American tight end Jason Dunn, a second-round draft choice who played 11 years in the NFL, said Coach Kidd and his assistants taught us how to work hard, be hungry, passionate and confident, and above all, competitive. Tuck Woolham, the quarterback on the 1982 national championship team, said Coach Kidd had the knack of finding someone who may be a little small or slow and develop them. He made us all believe. We weren't the most talented team, especially in 1982, but we believed we were the best team ever. Kidd would retire following the 2002 season and would be named to the 2003 College Football Hall of Fame. Following his retirement, Eastern Kentucky would name their football stadium after him and rename the street in front of the stadium to Roy and Sue Kidd Way. And a statue of the legendary coach and a wall honoring players, staff, managers is located in the north end zone. All Eastern Kentucky did under Kidd was win, finishing with 35 winning seasons and only 2 losing seasons. While they would make their last appearance in the Division I AA playoffs under Kidd in 1997, they never stopped winning. The man chosen to replace Kidd would be former national champion and Eastern Kentucky tackle Danny Hope. Hope continued the winning ways for the Colonels, going 35-22 and never having a losing season. In 2007, Eastern Kentucky would make it back to the FCS playoffs for the first time in a decade, won the Ohio Valley Conference. Following the 2007 season, Hope would leave to join Purdue's coaching staff and was named their head coach in 2009. They would choose to replace Hope with former defensive coordinator Dean Hood, staying with the sphere of Roy Kidd. Hood served as EKU's defensive coordinator from 1994 to 1998. He would lead EKU to a conference title in the playoffs in 2008 and 2011, made the playoffs the third time in 2014. 2009, though, would be EKU's first losing season since 1972. Following the 2015 season, Hood and the school would part ways as he would go 55-38 as the Colonels' head coach went 44-19 in Ohio Valley play. For the first time since Kidd took over, they would hire a coach with no connection to Roy, bringing in Mark Elders, who went 7-15 his first two seasons, but going 14-9 in his third and fourth season combined, and after going 21-24, his contract would not be renewed. They would go back to the well, bringing in Walt Wells, who was a tight ends coach and offensive line coach at Eastern Kentucky from 1997 to 2002 under Kidd. Wells would rebuild the program, taking them back to the FCS playoffs for the first time since 2014, and 2022 losing in the first round to Gardner-Webb 52-41, but also won the ASUN Conference, which would eventually turn into the United Athletic Conference in 2023, when the WAC and ASUN officially merged. In 2023, EKU would struggle going 5-6, would go 4-2 in conference play to finish second in the conference, and last year they would go 8-5, losing in the first round of the FCS playoffs to Villanova 22-17. With a move by Louisiana Tech to the Sun Belt, could Eastern Kentucky be the team chosen to replace them? The Colonels have been flirting with the move up to the FBS level for the past decade plus. There were talks back in 2013 about them making the move up, and they were planning to apply for the move up in 2014 to be fully eligible in 2016. Athletic Director Mark Sanny had been in conversations with MAC and the Sun Belt as they felt they would be the best fit at the time. President Michael Benson explained, "If this is something we're going to do and we get the invite, I would see us moving expeditiously as we can. I don't know if I could put a time on it right now. This is a decision that's imminent." They were looking to become the fourth football program in the state of Kentucky to play at the Division I level, joining rivals Western Kentucky along with Louisville and Kentucky. Western Kentucky would move up to the FBS in 2006, become bowl eligible in 2009. The Courier-Journal wrote back in 2013, Benson said that the conference realignment is one reason EKU is exploring the FBS. He also acknowledged that the Colonels have paid attention to what WKU has done recently. The Hilltoppers just completed an 8-4 regular season and are bowl eligible for the third straight season. They'll be leaving the Sun Belt for the Conference USA next summer. EKU and WKU used to meet regularly in the Battle of the Bluegrass, as it was a rivalry that dated back to 1914, but ended with the Hilltoppers' move to the FBS. The football teams last met in 2008, at the time in 2013. If EKU joins the FBS, it would provide an opportunity to resume the series. Benson would go on to explain, "Our biggest crowds in the history of our football program have been when we played Western Kentucky. I'd love nothing more to see us do a home-and-home. That's healthy for the Commonwealth and healthy for our institutions." Unfortunately, Eastern Kentucky would never receive an invite to join a conference, keeping them at the FCS level for the time being, losing out to Coastal Carolina. It would join the ASUN in 2021, which would merge with the WAC to become the United Athletic Conference in 2023. I did a video back on the conference a few years ago. Conference members were hoping to move up altogether to go around the rule that you need a conference invite to move up to the FBS. That whole idea would run into a roadblock in 2023, when for the 2024-2025 season, the move-up cost would go from $5,000 to $5 million. EKU Athletic Director Matt Rohn told the Lexington Herald-Leader, "I don't know if the proposed $5 million entry fee is necessarily directed at our conference. I could tell you that, as a collection of schools, we still maintain the ambition to compete at the highest level." Then in 2024, some wondered whether UMass's addition to the MAC could help Eastern Kentucky earn a bid to join the FBS conferences. Many turned to Western Kentucky as a possible addition to the MAC, as it was back in 2021, when Conference USA lost 9 of their members. Western Kentucky and its Conference USA rival Middle Tennessee State University were pursued by the MAC. At the time, Western Kentucky was all in on the idea of moving to the MAC, but those plans were foiled when MTSU reversed field and decided to stay in the Conference USA. Many thought if Western Kentucky were to bolt for the MAC, this time around, that Eastern Kentucky would be the perfect replacement. Instead, NIU would leave the MAC, basically shutting down the speculation, and the MAC actually looked like it could collapse, with Ohio reaching out to the Sun Belt to replace Texas State. Now Conference USA will be looking for a new member with the departure of Louisiana Tech, who the Sun Belt chose to go with instead of Ohio or Western Kentucky. With the holdups by the UAC is running into, could Eastern Kentucky go rogue and look out for themselves leaving for the Conference USA? Conference USA is developed into an FCS to FBS pipeline with Jack State, Sam Houston, Kennesaw State, Delaware, and Missouri State the past few years. Eastern Kentucky is a historically great football program at the FCS level, and Roy Kidd Stadium holds 20,000 fans. While it may need some renovations, the university is committed to making this happen if it means an invite to the FBS conference. It brings in extra revenue, more exposure to the university, and would benefit the surrounding areas as well. Rowan explained the financial impact by saying, in 2022, to play the University of Kentucky as an FCS institution, it's about a $500,000 payday. To play the University of Kentucky as an FBS institution, it's about a $1.5 million payday. Eastern Kentucky would fit right into the natural geographical footprint of the Conference USA, already having a rivalry with Western Kentucky, and it could develop a rivalry with Middle Tennessee as well. They are also only a 6-hour drive from Liberty. I think Eastern Kentucky could be a great addition to the Conference USA if that were to happen, and I could see them building a consistent winner like Western Kentucky has. I also would love to see their rivalry return and be played at a competitive level once again. What do you think? Should Eastern Kentucky make the move if it presents itself? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.